Sean, one of the points that you hit on in your last answer, you were talking about spiritual ailments. Now, I want to touch up on that for a second and offer an opportunity for you to give some more clarity, because when we talk about spirituality especially, I mean, it's always been around, right? But that is a term that within the past decade or, more, spirituality has really come to the forefront in the minds of society, right? And people are now utilizing that term. They're much more familiar with it. Now, of course, we know that spirituality has a lot of different meanings based upon the person that is utilizing them. Now, I want to talk about, in your mind, what are you talking about when you're mentioning spiritual ailments? And then utilizing your books. I know your book is talking about spiritual healing. What are some of the techniques that someone could utilize to become spiritually healed?
Well, you're asking me to read my book to you, I guess. Because, as I said in the first part of the book, I do, go through the various causes of depression. Let's just speak about depression. Mm-hmm. My brother suffered from depression for much of his life. He went on antidepressants when he was probably 13 or 14. Wow. While he was on antidepressants, I think he tried to commit suicide 4 times. The last time when he had 2 young children. And the point is, when I look back at him, he's an artist. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't allowed to be an artist. I mean, his spirit is an artist spirit. And you know what that is.
Of course, yeah.
And, I suggest that his depression is because he wasn't allowed the opportunity to be fulfilled in life. And anybody who knows what fulfillment feels like and what, doing things that you love, that is the best way to overcome depression. Being in flow. If you've ever had that experience, that's just the way to get out of depression for most people. But if you can't be who you were meant to be, and there's a lot of discussion behind that, but that can lead to a spiritual depression. Mm-hmm. And no medication will fix that.
Sean, that's a great point. That's a great point that you bring up, because, listen, so much of it comes down to perception. That's the problem that we have and that we see nowadays with this opioid epidemic, right? It's like a Band-Aid. It doesn't necessarily alleviate the initial cause. It makes you numb to everything. And because of that, you're never actually fixing the problem, right? So I think that's a great, great point that you bring up. People, listen, we're here on the line again with Sean T. Murphy. We're discussing his wonderful book, Torn Between Two Worlds, Modern Medicine and Spiritual Healing, available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but remember to check out his personal site, tornbetweentwoworlds.com, to gather everything that he has in store.